Hello everybody and welcome, I am Bricker Boom, and it's been a long time since we've played Pokemon Platinum. And there's a reason for that. The game takes forever and a day to be able to complete. However, I wanted to try a revisit because we've done the game once, and we know that we can beat it with just a Gibble. Granted, it took a few dozen tries at level 100, but how quickly can we beat it with a single Garchomp? Garchomp is a pseudo-legendary Pokemon with an astronomical attack, and even his special attack that sits at 80 isn't the worst thing in the world. I have a feeling we'll still need to level up at a certain point, but I also have a feeling that this will be leagues easier than Gibble. The reason that I'm doing this particular challenge is so that I can actually get a little bit faster at this game and not be smacking my head into a wall just to try and get to the next part. But let's go ahead and take a look at the rules. I can only use Garchomp in battle, but I can use other Pokemon, let's be honest, mostly Bidoof and Babarrel, for HM use. I don't allow items in battle, but items in between battle is fine. And with that out of the way, let's go ahead and hop into the run. We go ahead and give the rival Berry Chimchar because I did the lineup wrong in my head despite wanting to give him Piplup. We get the ability Sand Veil, which means we basically have one double team anytime we're in the middle of a Sandstorm. Good news is that with the beginning of the game, we start off with Dragon Rage, so we immediately take the rival out. We also get Return pretty early on, but we're going to hold on to that until our friendship increases enough to actually be able to make decent use of it. A short journey later, it's time to see how we do against Roark. Roark first sends out Geodude, and it immediately goes down to Dragon Rage. The Cranidos does have a bit more than 40 HP, so it does live and hit a Headbutt. Roark does potion up, and we take it back to red, and then it finally goes down next turn. Finally, the Onix goes down in a single hit as well, and that wins us the first badge. Now, from here, we have some travel and we have some plot as well. Once more, we won't be covering a lot of the plasma stuff simply because there is just so much of it. If we spend time covering even just half of the battles, we would probably be here for a couple hours. So what we'll do is cover a majority of the harder battles and obviously the gym battles. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and cover the Nuzlocke Nightmare that is Commander Mars and the Valley Windworks. Golbat goes down to a single Dragon Rage, and then when Perugly comes out, it opens up with a Fake Out to flinch us, then scratches us for a little as we do Dragon Rage. For whatever reason, it only used Scratch again, and then goes down to the next Dragon Rage to win the battle and allow us to keep moving on. With that out of the way, we can keep traveling and go through the Eterna Forest. It does bother me in this particular game that there are a lot of instances of forced partnership, but in this case, it's a solo challenge and not a Nuzlocke, so it's actually quite nice. Also, I want to take the chance to ask you to please subscribe to the channel. I'm now over 500, so that's super exciting. So once I get a few days off, one thing that I have planned is working on a pacifist run. Why do I need a few days? Because pacifist runs are terrible, and in Pokemon Fire Red, I will only be allowed to use status powders, Leech Seed, and any other quote-unquote attacks where I'm not directly doing any kind of damage. So Confuse Ray, Toxic, stuff like that will still be allowed, but it's mostly just going to be a game of survival. But enough about that, let's see how we do against Gardenia, who sends out Turtwig first, and I want to say something that I absolutely adore. The fact that gym leaders will use starter Pokemon is such a great change. We tackle it, and it uses Reflect, and we kick up a Sandstorm. Given our ability Sand Veil, like I said, it's basically a double team usage. It misses Grass Knot, which allows us to take it out with Dragon Rage. Cherrim is next, and we tackle it for very little as Grass Knot does a small chunk. We use Dragon Rage to take it to red. We evade a Leech Seed, and Reflect wears off. Gardenia potions up, and we crit a Tackle before taking it out with Dragon Rage. Last up is Roserade, and we hit it to yellow, and a berry brings it up. It paralyzes us and then takes us to 32 HP with Grass Knot before we manage to take it down with a final Dragon Rage to win the badge. From there, it's some more grunt nonsense that we have to deal with, free some Bike Owner from Jupiter, and move on. Overall, Jupiter is far less scary than Mars, and that's why we're not too worried about covering her battle. Moving on to Fantina, I have to say, despite this game being so heavy with side story things, it's easily my favorite generation when it comes to gym designs. Fantina is a ghost trainer and sends out Duskull, who immediately opens up with Will-O-Wisp, but misses thanks to the sandstorm we set up. Now at this point, the only move that we have that can connect is Dragon Rage, which does connect and take it to red, as the next Will-O-Wisp unfortunately connects and burns us. Fantina does heal up and we take it back to red. Shadow Sneak does very little, and then from there we can take it out. Next up is Haunter, and we continue with our only method of attack, taking it to yellow, as Shadow Claw does a little, and the storm subsides, but we do go ahead and take it out. Mismagius is last, and while we can take it to yellow, its berry heals it back to green, and then Shadow Ball's enough to knock us out since we've taken so much burn damage. Take 2. We pack a Rost Berry with us to heal the burn, and open with another Sandstorm as Shadow Sneak pings us for damage. Now, if you've watched other challenges of mine, due to us actually being prepared, just like any other challenge, the Duskull never actually uses Will-O-Wisp and only sets up Future Sight. Fantina heals up and we bring it back to red and then take it down next turn. When the Duskull goes down, we do get hit with the Future Sight as Haunter comes out and we take it to yellow. Shadow Claw does very little, and the Sandstorm subsides as we take out the Haunter. As always, Mismagius is next, and we continue with Dragon Rage to take it to half as it Shadow Balls us. Shadow Ball is doing a decent amount, but we're able to take it red with Dragon Rage. The Super Potion barely outweighs the Dragon Rage, and that allows us to take it down. And I don't know why, but every single run that I take an item to cure a status effect, they never end up using that move again. If that's something with the AI, let me know, because I feel like it shouldn't be, and I feel like it's not with people that I watch do other Nuzlockes. Now from here, it's time to fight Barry, and I'm about 99% sure that we missed one of the fights since it seems like he pops up on every route. Staravia is the first he sends out, and we start with a Sandstorm as it double teams. We've got Return, and that takes it to half as it double teams again. We miss Return, and Endeavor takes us all the way down to 29 HP before we return again and take it out. Weasel's next, and we continue with Return to take it to yellow as it pursuits, and then we take it down. We do learn Slash because, obviously, Monferno comes out and then basically punches us into the ground. With the second attempt, we play it a bit safer by choosing to attack the Staravia as quick as we can, rather than the Sandstorm, before it can use Endeavor. When Weasel is out, we can take it below half with Return, and it misses Water Gun, and then we take it down. Monferno's next, we continue with our Return Onslaught as it leers. Mach Punch does some damage as we set up Sandstorm and take it to red with Slash and take it out next turn. Last is Rosalia, and we use Dragon Rage to take it below half. It misses its Stun Spore, and that allows us to take it out. After that, it's a little bit of travel, and we're on to another really fun gym before we face off against Maylene. Like I said, this gen has a lot of good things going for it, and another one is that it doesn't seem to allow as many duplicates into the team lineup. Maylene sends out Metatite, who opens up with a Fake Out, and we do Sandstorm. It uses Drain Punch, and then we use Dragon Claw to take it out. Lucario's next, and we open with Dragon Claw, which doesn't do too much. Thankfully, Force Palm isn't doing too much to us, so we're able to take it out after a few turns and level up. Machoke is the last one, and we one-shot it to win the battle, and that allows us to keep moving on. We help Dawn after she gets robbed by some grunts, despite being a decent trainer, and then hustle our way out to Pastoria City. The Hyperactive Berry finally doesn't run into us, and immediately challenges us to battle. We use Dragon Claw to take it to yellow, and it hits Wing Attack as we take it down next turn. Weasel's next, and we can take it down with one hit. Rosalia pops out, and we use Dragon Claw to take it to red as Leech Seed hits us, and we do take it out. Last up is Monferno, and we use Dragon Claw to take it to yellow as it leers us. Mach Punch does a decent amount, and Dragon Claw deals even better damage, so that makes it go down. Crasher Wake is one of the best gym leader designs, and I will not be taking questions at this time. However, I do immediately have flashbacks of the Gibble Challenge and how impossible this felt, and I sincerely hope that this battle does not take as long. We did make sure to pack Dig with us, since that can help us survive an extra turn if we have to try PP stalling. Chances are we wouldn't live through enough to be able to do that, but you never know. Gyarados is first, and we open with Sandstorm as it opens with Waterfall that does a good chunk of damage. We swap to Dragon Claw to bring it to near half as Waterfall brings us well into the yellow, and we manage to take it to low red as Brine misses and the Sandstorm finishes it off. Floatzel's next, and we hit hard with Dragon Claw as the berry heals it back to green, and Ice Fang takes us out. Ultimately, we do end up having to level up at least a little bit to be able to stand a chance. Ice Fang just does far more damage than we're able to take, so we try again at level 45. Wake sends out Gyarados first, and we open with Sandstorm to hope to mess with its accuracy as Waterfall connects. 2 Dragon Claws are enough to take it down. Floatzel's next, and we get hit with a Dragon... My god! Floatzel is next, and we get a Dragon Claw hit as Ice Fang takes us all the way down to 37 HP and freezes us, but we fall immediately and take it out. Last is Quagsire, and we take it to half as Mudshot lowers us to 22 HP, but we can still outspeed, use Dragon Claw, and take it out to win the battle. With that out of the way, this is still going far much better than the Gible Challenge had gone, and in record time. I'd definitely like to try more pseudo-legendary Pokemon, and I'd like to do it in this particular game more often in general, just because it is a very good game, it just feels like it takes forever. Even with me having knowledge of the game now, I still feel like it takes a while, but either way, we're making a lot of quick progress with this particular challenge, and I hope that you've been enjoying it. Stick around to the end, and I'll end up telling you what we have planned next. With Byron, he sends out Magneton first, and thankfully we have a perfect counter. I don't understand why Magneton doesn't have Levitate, but that lets us demolish it with Dig. Steelix is next, and we continue with our Dig strategy as it uses Sandstorm, which is actually helping us, and we hit it hard with Dig. Ice Fang nails us for a decent bit of damage, and we dig again, this time taking it out. Finally, Bastiodon is out, and we crunch it for a critical hit, and Stone Edge barely tickles us. We dig and hit it hard to take it down with a single shot and win the badge. Moving on to the next leader, I'm not gonna lie, I am terrified for multiple reasons. First off, this particular area, due to the snowstorm that comes up on screen, it completely borked my game and made me worry that I wouldn't be able to finish a challenge. It actually ended up crashing my totally legit console the first time I recorded it. Secondly, Candace having ice types that are strong against my boy is very concerning, and I'm just going to go ahead and leave it at the fact that we got absolutely demolished by Avalanche time and time again, so we end up leveling up. At level 70, Sneasel uses Ice Shard, and we can take it out in one Dragon Claw. Piloswine is scary, and we use Dragon Claw to take it out in one shot. Abomasnow whips up an Ice Storm, and we use Dragon Claw to take it out in one clean shot as well. Last up, we have Frostlass, and Dragon Claw also ends up taking it out. While I normally don't enjoy the one-shot battles, and I want the battle to be exciting, it's hard to be able to do that when everything is able to immediately one-shot you. From here, we have some more plasma stuff, and we're getting down to the wire. We go through the headquarters, and we go to fight Cyrus and free some legendary Pokemon that, despite being able to warp time, can't escape from this experiment. Sneasel's first, and we use Dragon Claw to one-shot it. Crobat can be a menace depending on what Pokemon you're using, but goes down to a single return. Last up is Honchkrow, and a single Dragon Claw sends it straight to the Shadow Realm. Now, if I were doing a Nuzlocke, I'd be more inclined to cover the double battle with Barry, since that very easily can go south depending on the moves chosen. However, in a solo challenge like this, I don't think it's technically needed, especially given our level currently. So, I'll play the footage here, I'm just not going to cover it, because I feel like at least watching this is probably more entertaining than watching us fumble around through the Distortion world. And then, basically, from there, it's time to fight Cyrus for one last time and see how we do. Houndoom is up first, and we start by digging, and we do take it out in one shot. Next up is easily the most terrifying member of the team, Weavile. We go ahead and use Dig again to test our damage, and it one-shots as well. Next is Gyarados, and our attack is lowered, and Crunch takes it to half. Ice Fang does a lot of damage, and thanks to the defense drop on our end, a second Crunch is able to knock it out. Last is Honchkrow, and we use Return to take it to yellow as it Drill Pecks us. It does get a full restore, but we take it back to red and then knock it out next turn for the victory. With that out of the way, it's basically a battle royale from here. We have one more gym badge to get, and then it's time for some Elite Four peeps to take out, a rival Garchomp, and then it's game. So from there, we go ahead and move on to easily my favorite design gym puzzle of this generation. I don't know why, it's just always one I've liked. Maybe it's because it's Naruto's dad running the gym, and while he was a great ninja and Hokage, let's see how he does as a trainer. Volkner sends out Jolteon first, and we start off with Return to take it out in one shot. Luxray is next, and we begin digging as Ice Fang misses. I had forgotten he knew that, so I am very thankful I chose that attack. And Dig takes it out in one shot. Electivire is out and uses Quick Attack as we bury ourselves once more, and then we're able to take it out in one hard-hitting attack. Last up is Raichu, and I know Volkner calls it his trump card in his little dialogue, but he could probably pick a better trump card because we also take it out in one shot, because Raichu is actually kind of terrible. After that victory, it's a wrap on the gym leader battles, and it's time to go ahead and make our way forward through Victory Road. This particular Victory Road, I legitimately always get lost on, but thankfully, in the year 2023, game guides exist, and they are very easy to access. My goal, brain-wise, I guess, is to get used enough to this game that I can get through Victory Road, and preferably even the Distortion World, without having to fumble around. Now, I will be honest, I didn't use the game guide for the Distortion World. I just did what every 10-year-old did and keep walking around till I find the enemies. Before we get to the Elite Four, though, let's go ahead and teach Barry one last lesson. Staraptor's first, and we open up with Dragon Pulse to take it down in one shot. Floatzel's next, so we use Dragon Pulse again. Heracross is out, and you guessed it, we use Dragon Pulse. But it doesn't go down, and it hits hard with a critical hit close combat. The next return is able to take it out. Snorlax is a big bulky mon, and we use Crunch for not even half as he body slams us. Next, we use Dragon Pulse to take it out. He does have Infernape, and we dig to avoid Focus Blast, and we one-shot it. Last but not least is a Roserade, a favorite of mine, and we use a Dragon Pulse to take it out and get to move on to the Elite Four. First up is Aaron, and he's a Bug-type expert. Yanmega, a much-needed evolution of Yanma, is first, and we open up with Return to take it to red as it uses U-turn. He sends out Drapion, and we use Dragon Pulse, which takes it to what has to be 1 HP before the berry kicks in. Ice Fang does far too much damage to us, and we take it down with Crunch. Heracross is next, and we use Dragon Pulse to take it to low red, and Megahorn hits hard to almost nice HP, and Aaron full restores. We continue with Dragon Pulse and take it down with critical hit. Vespiquen is next, and we use Dragon Pulse to take it to yellow as it uses Defend Order, thankfully not attacking and allowing us to take it down. Yanmega's back out, and Aaron full restores, giving us a free attack to again take it to what I have to imagine is 1 HP, but we still outspeed it and knock it out. The last up is Caesar, and we use Dragon Pulse, but that doesn't do much, and Iron Head takes it all the way to 23 HP. So at this point, we dig, cross our fingers, and take it out for the narrow win. Next up to the plate is Bertha, who is probably going to be a bit of a problem. Whiscash is first, so we use Crunch to take it to yellow as it whips up a Sandstorm, which is fine by me. Now we can dodge easier, and we take it out with the next Crunch. Gliscor's next, and we take it to what I'm, again, guessing is 1 HP, as we get Ice Fanged. Bertha heals up, and we take it down with a Return next turn. Rhyperior is next, and we use Dig, making it miss Avalanche, and take it out with 1 shot. Though I don't know if the crit mattered. Hippowdon is out, and the Sandstorm continues, which only helps us as we Crunch. It uses Yawn, which is not good for us, as we use Dragon Pulse to take it down right before taking a nap. Golem is next, and we somehow sleepily avoid Earthquake as we stay asleep, but get hit next turn. We get taken down to 99 HP and wake up to Crunch the Golem to about half. We avoid another Earthquake, and the next Crunch takes it to, again, what I'm guessing is 1 HP. Earthquake takes us to 45 HP as Bertha heals up, and we could use Crunch again with the lower defense. It's now a 2-shot, and we could take it out and move on with yet another narrow victory. Well, we're 2 for 2, but can we get ourselves in third? Flint is next, and we open up a Dig against Houndoom and take it out in 1 shot. Magmortar is next, so we use Dragon Pulse, and that crits and takes it out. We Crunch the Rapidash and take it to red as it uses a weak Flare Blitz. Flint full restores, and we Crunch again, and due to the defense drop, it goes down. Flareon is up and we use Dig to avoid Will-O-Wisp and take it out in one shot. Last is Infernape and we dig again, and it uses Earthquake to take a chunk of damage as we pop out and take it down. Now I will say that this did take us 2 attempts. You may have just heard my cat playing with an empty bottle. But this did take us 2 attempts because we got burnt off the Mag Mortar the first time, but all in all, still not a bad fight by any means. But hey, let's go ahead and move on, and I'm gonna go check on my cat. The cat is fine, and last to the Elite Four is Lucian, and he starts with Mr. Mime. We have a strong Dark Attack and Crunch, and we take it down in one shot and level up. Espeon goes down to a single Crunch, and then next up is Bronzong. Now, Bronzong goes to half and uses Calm Mind, which can be very scary, but it doesn't get a chance to attack because it goes down next turn. Alakazam is an easy one-shot, and finally it's Gallade who goes to yellow and its defense falls. It does get its berry proc, but it only uses a weak Psycho Cut before we end up taking it down too. Last, but certainly not least to the game, is Cynthia. Cynthia starts out with Spiritomb, and we use Crunch to take it to half and lower its defense as it uses Shadow Ball. We use another Crunch and it goes down. Garchomp is next, and a hard-hitting Dragon Pulse critical hits to take it down. Milotic goes to nearly half with Dragon Pulse, then smashes us with Ice Beam as we dig. Thankfully, Dig does a lot more and does take it out. Togekiss can be a tank and goes to half with Dragon Pulse and Air Slashes us. The next Dragon Pulse takes it down. Lucario is scary, but we know how to take it out as we dig, and that knocks it out. And then finally, it's Roserade as we Dragon Pulse to take it to yellow, and unfortunately, Energy Ball does end up knocking us out. I don't think leveling is necessarily needed, so let's try that again, or 3 more times. Spiritomb goes to yellow with Dragon Pulse, and it uses Shadow Ball, but we do take it out with Crunch. Garchomp is next, and we at least know now that the critical hit didn't matter. With Milotic, we take our chances and crunch it to half as Ice Beam rocks us. We're once again struggling for HP as we use Dig to take it out. Togekiss doesn't quite go to half as we get hit with Air Cutter, then swap to Return. Lucario is a one-shot like before, and Roserade, we basically dig and cross our fingers, and thankfully we get a critical hit, and that's that to win the challenge. That was a fun challenge, and it's nice to see how much easier the game was with this fully evolved form in comparison to the weaker form. I have a few challenges up my sleeve, including more evolutions, and a new water-type Nuzlocke that I'm also working on, so I hope you decide to stick around. And then, as always, if you liked the video, even if you didn't like the video, hit the like and subscribe button, because it really does help me out. And until next time, everybody, peace out.